Every day I sit up here and like, what is Doug? Yeah.
Are you any closer today than you were a couple days ago as far as changing the lineup? And if you could discuss maybe in a little bit of depth what the risk and rewards are maybe of making a move of putting Jay Sean in.
Dan, when I walked in, just said they may ask you if you're going to change the starting lineup up. You know what I told him? I said, I'm not going to answer that. No, you know what, honestly,
My next question.
right. No, there is a possibility of a change. We've had 3 very, very rough practices, just in terms of competitiveness, and you know, today will be a little bit more of the same. Won't be as long, but because we're going to shoot there tonight. But there is a possibility we might.
Okay, but I mean, assuming, I don't know what you're going to do. You're not going to say, but assuming that you're going to put Jay Sean in there and take Mark out. I mean, the risk, you're taking a better shooter out for your Energizer bunny. So is it good enough to have hopefully a good shooter coming off the bench, that trade-off, energy for shooting?
Yeah, I mean, if you make any changes, obviously there's going to be risk reward or as you said, you know, different things coming into the basketball game. So yeah, the biggest thing we're talking about is attempting to get off to a decent start. Not even saying that we're scoring, but maybe get a couple shot attempts at the basket the first few possessions.
Dad, seasons take on different shapes, and with, you know, depending what kind of team you have, sometimes you start hot and then you have a bump or whatever. With this team, where do you feel like you are on the path of the season? Have you been up and maybe you're in a little down, or are you still like on the way?
Yeah, I think
so
that
far?
our best basketball hopefully is ahead of us. But you know, one of the things that we've talked about in the 5 losses we've had, we've shown moments of playing really, really good basketball. Not perfect basketball, but it just in terms of the cohesiveness, the synergy going in the right direction. The problem has been is we haven't had it for the length of period of time that we need it in some games, even some games that we've won. We needed a surge here or there to kind of get us over the hump, and I think that, you know, that's one of the things that you're looking at as a coach, is saying, okay, why did we put this run on both offensively and defensively? Who was in the game? What plays were we running? What were we, you know, all those things, and that's where you're trying to find the answers to consistent basketball.
And with as many young guys as you're playing, is that normal?
You know, I think it can be. You know, you take a look at, you know, you mentioned young guys like D'Angelo. D'Angelo has been unbelievable this year, but he's had a few bumps in the road in some games. You know, I think he's been more consistent over the last couple weeks in terms of just how he's playing, the things that he's doing, and you know, is he going to make a couple mistakes? Yeah, he's going to, but you know, you know he's out there trying to win the basketball game. He's in timeouts, saying the things that you know need to be said in terms of a player to help his teammates play better.
And Shannon, when we were talking with him, referenced a season where you guys, he said you were 1-4 to start Big Ten play. We were trying to.
That was Evan Turner the year he broke his back, yeah.
Okay, because I know there was a game. I mean, are you referencing at all with these guys that sometimes you've had teams where you have good players and it just takes a little while, but you can still end up in a really good
absolutely. Yeah, there's no question about it. And you know, I think that every team I've ever had here has found its stride, some better than others. You know, but I think that's one of the things we're talking with these guys about is you know, the ownership in terms of, hey, every night we take that floor, you've got a certain thing you have to do, you've got a certain thing you have to bring to this team on this given night, and we need it. And you know, not knowing that not every guy is going to play perfect every night, but with that said, you hope enough pieces of the puzzle are dialed in terms of what we have to do, and that helps you play your best. And hey, in this league, you may play your best and not win. You know, I think there's always that risk, but you know, damn it, I want to be playing our best basketball every time we take the floor.
When you come off of Saturday and, you're talking about possibly about changing the lineup or everything, but when you come out of that game as a coaching staff, is it like reevaluating everything, what we're doing? Is it reevaluating personnel, reevaluating combinations? What has it been like for you, and what have you been looking for in these practices where you said that you've gotten after it? What have you been looking for from the guys coming out of this?
A little bit in terms of what I just mentioned to Doug, just in guys coming in and doing what they're supposed to do, what they're capable of doing. Hey, got a guy that's not shooting the ball well. He's struggling from the three-point line right now. Well, we got a couple guys, and I talked to him about from the free throw line. I said, look, what's changed? Is the line farther? Is the basket moving when you're shooting? Is the ball like? That's right here, and though we've got to change how we're thinking in terms of our preparation and getting ready to play, because the free throw line hasn't changed, the 3-point line hasn't changed. It's we got to take the ownership, and so as a coach you're looking in these days and saying, okay, how do I get this guy to make a shot? He's making them in practice. How do I get this guy to lock in and hold his follow through towards the basket? Those are I think more, as opposed to like, gosh, the offense isn't working, or this isn't working. Now there's always things that we're preparing, but a lot of it is hey, do your job.
In terms of Northwestern, they've kind of been in a lot
every game.
Yeah. What do you see in them? They look like a team program that's getting better here.
Yeah, no question. I think that you look at the losses they've had, and every game has been, with the exception of maybe one, to a really good team. But they're right there. They got it's a different style of play, but it's similar. They run great offense, and they're going to exploit the things that you don't do well defensively. They're looking to push the ball if you don't get back in transition. They'll score a layup, or they'll shoot a three on you in a heartbeat. So, defensively, they're very, very sound in everything that they do.
You've mentioned two things about, number one, valuing the basketball, and number two, finishing those open scoring chances at the basket. And I'm wondering, what, if anything, have you changed or done in practice to hopefully get them better at those two things?
We've gone back and hit a ton of passing drills. We've probably spent a little bit more time individually with. No, that's not true. Because we spent a lot of time shooting the basketball, but I guess we've added more finishing drills, that sort of thing, but we want to, in terms of shooting, we want to get to the basket. We just got to finish it, put it in there.
Shannon said, I asked him the same question. He said that when something like that pops up in practice, where somebody doesn't value the basketball or misses a bunny, you don't deal in punishment such as push-ups or laps or something like that. It's just that you let them know you're not happy, and that is enough to let them know that they need to fix it. Have you changed anything along those lines, or are you unhappier, or have you incorporated any punishment, or what?
No, not really. We've done overall a pretty good job taking care of the basketball, and in terms of our turnover ratio and that sort of thing. It's just the lack of thinking plays that probably pushed me over the edge. And have I maybe made more of a point to point it out? Yeah, I have. But in terms of the finishes and that sort of thing, we, you can't make it for them, type of thing. But we've made shots.
The lack of finishing, have you come to any conclusions? Is it concentration, or is it body? What?
Each of them, Bob, are so different. I go round and round with our guys. They love the floater, and I think it's the worst shot in basketball. If you ever see if they ever hit one, they look at me and wink during the game because I hate them. Like I refuse to let them practice them and shoot them, and that's what I think is the worst shot I've ever like. Yeah, no question. Yeah, I don't know who invented the thing, but Larry Bird and Magic Johnson didn't shoot them. I know that, but these guys don't even know who they are. But no, it's just you want to get that ball down there, and we obviously we got to put it in.
Well, I'm sorry, just one follow-up on that. If you hate the floater and it's in every kid's arsenal right now, what is your alternative that you want them to do instead of shoot the floater?
I want them to follow through and shoot it. Like let it go. Ball comes off the fingertips. Maybe you don't take an extra dribble in there. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like, but when's the last time you saw a guy shoot a bank shot? Yeah, I mean, nobody shoots a bank shot anymore. Yeah. Tim Duncan, yeah. He's no good. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Why do you hate it so much?
It doesn't go in. Like the percentage of them going in is, we hit one last year, Aaron hit one, and I turned to Ballas, I said, well, we're 1 for 92 now. So, but, and our guys have done better. They're not shooting as many of them, I'll be honest with you.
Why has that shot developed in so many guys?
I think these personal trainer coaches, that have guys dribbling like 8 basketballs, which you've never seen once in a game of basketball, doing all that stuff, teaches them this because it looks good when it goes in. It does look good when it goes in, but it doesn't go in very often. So when a guy makes one, everybody's like, ooh, he hit the floater. But they don't remember the 9 that they missed before that. It's like Tim Duncan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that was a little bit different. He shot it with his right hand, too, and he was left-handed. So we need to change the subject on that one. Have you seen what he's doing every night in the NBA? Yeah.
You're not Mike Conley.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you view this as, and I know you're a game-at-a-time guy, you always have been, but do you view this as like a critical part of the season? And you could probably say that. You probably said that 2 weeks ago, too.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're sitting 3-3. You have this string of games coming up that if you figure it out, I mean,
Right.
there's a chance to go on a run. Where do you view this as a important stretch, or any more important or different than?
No, I do. I think that with where you are right now, and obviously keeping the focus on us and knowing that everybody has to play everybody else, and there's going to be winners and losers and all that stuff. This is a big stretch for us. I mean, tomorrow night concludes our 4th out of 5 games on the road. You get a chance to go 2-2 in those games, which not what we wanted, but it's not that bad. So from that perspective, I think that's where it is in my mind in terms of, it's a very, very important basketball game.
So you've been on this issue with them for a few games now about playing a full game, starting engaged. Let's just say if they didn't do it again, then what would you say? What would you do?
I hope I don't have to answer that, or it doesn't come to that. But I don't know. I think that as a coach, your job is continuously trying to find the things that you need to do to help your team play the best. But I think, with that said, there comes an element of guys have to get themselves ready to play. And I have had a team here, a couple teams that literally the toughest decision of my day was what time do we leave the hotel to go to the game, because I knew those guys were going to play, and they were obviously very talented teams. But it's a process. It's a growing process, and hopefully we're a little bit better tomorrow night than we were on Saturday in starting the game.
Big Ten schedule before the season, and you saw you had 4 out of 5 on the road, almost right off the bat, did you think that was not a good thing? And maybe compared to other teams that you've had, maybe not, maybe because of the freshmen you have, or not a good thing for this team to have that clump of games that early in the season?
I thought that, but I don't know if I've ever had a team I thought like, oh, this is great. We get 4 out of 5 on the road. You know what I'm saying? But you know, with that said, I think other teams have it too. I'm sure we have another one coming up in a couple weeks, I think. So, you know, it sort of is what it is, and we got to find a way to, you know, and you know, the greatest thing in my mind is I don't remember the last games. I mean, I remember them, but I don't think about them. So tomorrow night's like a fresh new beginning for me, and hopefully it is for these guys.